Ronnie! Yeah. Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, I'll be reacting to one of the early uploads from the YouTube channel, the game Theorists. I'm a huge fan of their work and I hope that you will enjoy this video as well. This video came out in the year 2016, so I think it's around 5 years ago. Let's start.
Resident Evil, Call of Duty, fighting games, giant robots? What could all these games possibly have in common?
They're all video games.
Absolutely nothing at all.
Oh gosh.
But that's not gonna stop me.
Ronnie!
The game I really want to talk about today is Armored Core 3 because it's freaking awesome, but I know only about...
Yeah, because it's freaking awesome. Yeah.
But 3 of you have ever played Armored Core 3, or any Armored Core game for that matter.
Oh, PlayStation 2, that's so cute! If you take the 2 and flip it around into PlayStation 5. Yeah, PlayStation 5 is already out here. So anyways, yeah.
So I'm going to use a bunch of other, more popular games to compare it against. These comparisons won't be exact and won't necessarily be fair, but they'll help get my ideas across. So what is Armored Core 3? Well, it's a customizable giant robot fighting game, which is just awesome. You pilot a giant
Just awesome!
that you can endlessly customize to fit your own personal playstyle and tastes.
Cool.
You can customize its head, arms,
legs, torso, generator, radiator, paint job, weapon loadout, HUD layout.
you can even personalize your mech with your own neat little logo.
Oh my god! The list of the list of customization is awesome.
Which is really fun.
Oh, get this one!
It has great mechanics, an interesting universe, and loads of subtle storytelling, and it interleaves all of these different elements in a surprisingly consistent way.
When are we going to talk about Call of Duty and Resident Evil?
I was just about to get there. Mechanically, Armored Core 3 is a third-person shooter, like Resident Evil. Kinda. One thing that turns many players off of the Resident Evil series is that you can't move and shoot at the same time. For some players, these turret controls completely break the immersion. Jill Valentine is a former Army, now Special Tactics and Rescue officer, and you're telling me that she can't at least take a couple steps back while aiming?
Yeah, she is a professional. She shall be able to at least like take a few steps back, and yeah, she's an expert and pro in this field. Why can't she just point it at the gun or the pistol or the firearm and just take a few steps back and shoot? It just sounds a bit ridiculous, doesn't it?
Come on! Now mechanically, not allowing the player to move is a good idea for this game. It creates tension and urgency and forces the player to make unique decisions moment to moment as they play.
Okay, there's urgency and tension, right?
All of which is wonderful for a horror game. The entire game is designed around you not being able to move while you're aiming. It makes total sense mechanically, but aesthetically, many players find it a little ridiculous. Some players can't suspend their disbelief about this situation, so it breaks the immersion. Instead of being a vehicle to heighten the experience, it becomes a hurdle many players have to jump over before they can enjoy the game. To some people, this sort of thing doesn't matter at all, but to other people, it's make or break. Armored Core 3 does something similar. You can buy these incredibly powerful back-mounted weapons that can devastate opponents in only a handful of shots. But to keep these weapons from being totally overpowered, you can't move while you're aiming them. And the aesthetic of the game tries really hard to sell this idea to you. These guns just look massive. And when you activate them, they fold out over your mech's shoulder, altering your mech's center of gravity. Of course your mech wouldn't be able to move when you activate this weapon. Not being able to move is a choice purely informed by the mechanics, but they use the aesthetics to dress up the choice in a way that players will hopefully be able to buy into, and maintain their suspension of disbelief. As I said, this choice in Resident Evil is mechanically sound, but it just doesn't do a lot to try to sell you this choice in-universe. While in Armored Core, it's both mechanically sound while also doing its best to make sense in-universe. Alright, next on our list of weird comparisons is Call of Duty 4.
Oh, COD, Call of Duty, which until now is still very popular.
COD 4 in its time was lauded for its multiplayer, which introduced an experience system that allowed you not only to unlock new weapons, but also gain access to skills called perks.
Oh, yes, correct. So there's a skill tree involved in COD.
You could combine all of these weapons and skills into various loadouts to match with your personal playstyle. If you liked using guns that had a massive damage output but slow reload time, you might want to combine that with a skill that cut your reload time in half. If you preferred
Yes.
sitting back and sniping, instead of getting up close and storming rooms, then flashbangs were useless to you, so it's better instead to go with these landmines that you can plant at the entrance to your campsite to keep people from sneaking up on you while you're busy looking down your scope. It was a wonderful system, and the developers worked really hard to keep things balanced. Choosing something always meant giving up something else, so you were constantly weighing the pros and cons of your choices. Flashbangs or landmines? More damage or more hit points? In the universe of COD 4, there's no real reason why a soldier logically couldn't carry both flashbangs and landmines. Heck, many of them can sprint with rocket launchers strapped to their back. Making the player choose one over the other is a purely mechanical decision, and it's a great design decision.
It's purely mechanical. What I think is he's trying to say is that there's not just one way of playing. There's a different way of playing. It's like if I want to go full Rambo, it's like, or I just want to go stealth mode. I'll be a ninja.
However, they don't do much to sell this idea in universe. They keep it purely mechanical, and that's that. Armored Core 3 did a similar thing years earlier, with all of its various parts and weapon combinations. You could mix and match parts and weapons in whatever loadout best complemented your personal playstyle. And just like in Call of Duty, picking one thing meant sacrificing something else. You can build a mech that has tons of armor and can soak up tons of damage, but armor is really heavy, so only certain legs are actually built to bear that much weight without causing problems. And these legs are, understandably, not the most mobile. On the flip side, if you value more mobile leg types, like hover legs, then you're going to have trouble when it comes to carrying heavy guns or heavy armor. If you're a player who likes using energy weapons, then you're going to need a heavy-duty generator that can output a lot of energy. Hey, remember when I talked about not being able to move and aim while using those powerful back-mounted weapons? Well, if you decide to equip your mech with quadruped or tank legs, which are much more stable, you can move while aiming these large shoulder-mounted weapons, which makes sense aesthetically and also serves to balance these parts out within the game's mechanics. Once again, COD 4 did a great job of keeping the game balanced, but it fell a little flat when it came to grounding these choices within its own universe. Whereas in Armored Core 3, the developers not only managed to make such a hugely customizable game balanced, but they also used in-universe concepts like weight limits or energy drain to help ground their balancing choices within the game's universe. Now, as I said in the opening, I'm aware these two things aren't an exact one-to-one comparison. I'm just using them to help get a point across. Okay, next up on the weird comparison list is
Get a point across, literally a point across.
fighting games. This one is probably the most out there, so I'm gonna need you to bear with me. A lot of fighting games keep their central campaign in one box, and their arcade mode in another box.
Yes.
In most modern Mortal Kombats, you have a central campaign that does most of the world building, and then off to the side you have an arcade mode tower, where you battle your way to the top and then get a little bit of story at the end. A lot of the Soul Caliburs are also that way. Central campaign over here, arcade mode tower with a little bit of story at the end over here. KOF's done similar things, Tekken's done similar things, Virtua Fighter's done similar things. There's quite a few examples out there.
So he's trying to say that there's the campaign mode and then there's the arcade mode. Campaign mode, if you want to follow a story, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Then whereas arcade mode is like A, then D, then F, then Z. Something like that. Just jump. I just want to fight the boss battles. The story doesn't matter to me. That kind of shit, stuff.
Armored Core 3 also has a similar setup, where you have a central campaign that involves intrigue, gaining faction with various entities, branching pathways, secret items, the works. And then on the side you have a neat arena mode, where you can face other pilots one-on-one. It's essentially the same tower setup, where the object is to battle your way to the top. But the unique thing that Armored Core 3 does is that it uses its arena mode to also world build. Instead of just doing the usual tiny amount of story and world building only at the end once you beat it, like many other games do. Every pilot you face in the arena has a short little bio that you can read, and these bios really help to inform the player about the universe this game takes place in.
Yes, the bio description of it just makes it more understandable. Yeah.
And the kind of people that inhabit this universe. Not only did the developers write a bio for every one of the 71 arena opponents in this game, but they also created a custom emblem for each pilot, as well as a fully painted and designed mech.
That's awesome because if there's different emblem, different logos, different symbols, it's easier for people to understand it, regardless of if it's a noob, professional, or just impossibly good hackers.
Just like the one you pilot. One pilot's bio mentions that he used to be a street racer before he became a pilot, and if you look at his custom emblem, you can see it reflects his past. Some bios say things like, this pilot enjoys close range combat, and sure enough, you'll find that the developers tuned that pilot's AI to do just that, try to fight you at close range. This pilot has a mech that's green on one half, purple on the other, and his custom emblem reflects that motif. Many of these pilots that you see in the arena can also show up in the central campaign. They might be working with you, or working against you, so it's not uncommon to end up in a life or death battle against them. And if you do kill them, they actually disappear from the arena roster. It's really subtly done, and a lot of players don't realize it, but it makes what you do in the central campaign and what you do in the arena cross over in great ways, and it makes the universe feel that much more consistent. You don't often find this sort of cross-pollination in other games, where the campaign modes and arcade modes are kept in totally separate boxes.
Well, you know, that's not really a fair comparison to draw.
Yes, I know. Please refer back to all of the different points in this episode where I already said that some of these comparisons won't necessarily be fair.
Some of this isn't necessarily
I'm just using these other games to give you context into how neat this one is, and to talk about different design concepts. So many games just have their mechanics in one box, and their storytelling and aesthetics in another box. In games, it's not uncommon to watch characters perform crazy stunts in cutscenes that they can't do in game, or see a character get killed off permanently due to a stab wound in a cutscene, when in game they've literally taken dozens of Gatling gun bullets to the face without even needing to heal afterwards. As gamers, we've grown somewhat used to these discordancies and take them as a given. When games do things that make their mechanics and aesthetics resonate with their storytelling, and make everything consistent across the entire play space, it often goes unnoticed. I'm not saying that every element in every game needs to harmonize like this or else it's bad. I'd say games like Call of Duty and any of the fighting games I've featured are actually totally okay, because seamless immersion isn't actually a huge part of their draw. What I am saying is that certain types of games do exist that are centered around player immersion, and certain mechanical choices can negatively impact this sense of immersion. And in the past, designers haven't been mindful enough of this fact. If you're designing a horror game and genuinely want to scare players, you're taking a big risk by using a mechanic that presents an obvious barrier to that immersion. If you've ever played a game that many people love and you can't seem to get into, it might just be that one or more of its aspects are creating some sort of discordance. While on the flip side, certain harmonies, when they do show up in some games, can really draw you into a game and heighten your appreciation of it. Armored Core 3 is one of those games that have so many great harmonies between all of its different parts.
I get what Ronnie is trying to say, is that there's different components to make a game good and different components to make a great game bad. Sometimes the components just fit each other. Sometimes it just doesn't work as well as we thought it would be. Yeah, wow, that's true.
And it's a shame more people haven't played it. Heck, I had to bend over backwards to figure out how to compare this game to other more popular games, because there's very few games quite like it, and I wanted to talk about it so badly. Just go out and play it. It's a great time, I swear.
Yeah. Just listen to the advice and just go play it. It's a good it's a good game. Yeah. Thank you so much, Ronnie.
Hey guys, Ronnie Edwards here. If you like the video, then you can check out some of my other videos here. I have like a Tetris one, and like
check out his videos. He's awesome.
like a Zelda one, and I made a Pokemon one. A lot of people like the Pokemon one. But a lot of people also don't really like me, so you can watch Game Theory here.
No.
That's what if you like Matt Pat better.
No, it's mean. We love your work. Thank you so much. Check out his videos. Thank you so much. Alright, thank you so much for watching this video. If you do like this video, please consider to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and comment down below if you have anything to share with us. Honestly speaking, Ronnie's video is awesome, and do check out the Game Theorists. Okay, the video that I just reacted to came out from the YouTube channel The Game Theorists, and yeah, their videos are awesome. Please do show support and appreciation for their work as well. And I will see you next time. Thank you so much for coming over. Yeah. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. Alright, thank you so much, Ronnie. We really miss you. Thank you. This work is awesome. Just reminds me of so much about me when I'm growing up. And yeah, his video is a huge motivation inspiration for me as well. And yeah, thank you so much.